What's the most important thing that anyone wanting to become an apprentice should know or be doing?
It's how can you make yourself stand out? How can you make yourself different from everyone else? You know, if you think about when you finish your year, you finish your exams, everyone's in the same boat. Everyone's looking for a job, or everyone's looking for an apprenticeship or entrance into university. And it's a little bit competitive. You know, you've got to try and be the best. And the best isn't always about having the best exam results or having the most experience. It's about how else can you make yourself an interesting person? How else can you make yourself desirable to an employer? So I think one of the most important things is think of ways to develop yourself out with school and out with work. Things like perhaps doing volunteer work, helping in your community, doing your Duke of Edinburgh's Award.
Who was your best apprentice?
Today, we're here as part of this Learning Through Work Week, and later on today, this afternoon, this evening, I'm actually going through to Edinburgh for the Modern Apprenticeship Awards. It's the Skills Development Scotland Modern Apprenticeship Awards, and one of my apprentices from a previous programme, Ashley, is up for Apprentice of the Year. And that's partially because of her success in completing the apprenticeship and securing herself a fantastic job at the end of it. But it's also about how she went about doing that. I mentioned earlier on about being curious and wanting to learn and wanting to find out more. And more than any other apprentice that I've had, Ashley did that. She wanted to find out more about all the different areas of the business. And she spent her own time going to other managers and speaking to people and finding out about the opportunities. So when her apprenticeship was completed, she almost had a pick of different jobs she could go into. She'd impressed so many people and made a positive impression on so many people. So the fact that she's up for the award, and I think speaks for itself there. I think Ashley is one of the greatest apprentices we've had.
How do I go out my way to impress you?
I'm always impressed by people who can come along to interview and can show me that they have found out a bit about the business. They have gone away and done a bit of research, and they can tell me a little bit about my business. They can tell me a little bit even perhaps about the apprenticeships that we do run. I'm also impressed by people who can show me that they're not just looking for a job, they're perhaps looking for a career. They're looking for something long term. So it's useful if you're going to interview to sell yourself in a way that promotes that you're there for the long term. You know, you want to grow with the company and you want to learn about the company. That's always impressive as well.
What do I say to my mum and dad who want me to stay and get hires or go to college and university?
I think that's a fantastic question. I think a big part of promoting apprenticeships is how we also speak to the parents and convince them, do you know what, they're a genuine good opportunity. I think it's really easy for people to think the options are only, it's university or it's a job, a career. I think I would say to them, it's a balance. If you're unsure, if you're not certain what's the best path for you, they allow you to try all of that. They allow you to earn a wage, they allow you to gain a qualification and practice. I think we've got a lot of work to do in convincing parents as well. I think there's still that traditional sense that apprenticeships are for people going into trades. They're for plumbers and electricians and carpenters, these kinds of things. When in actual fact, there's more than 80 different types of apprenticeships now. And the statistics are there to prove 92% of people that complete an apprenticeship now go on to stay in a career.
Would you have made a good apprentice?
Absolutely, yes. I would have been a fantastic apprentice. I think something that I respect a lot in my apprentices is curiosity, willingness to learn and try new things. And I think, although I may not have been the best student, I was quite keen to learn about new things, and I was quite keen to find out more. So yeah, I think I would have made a good impression on myself.
Have you ever been an apprentice? If so, what was it?
Way back when I left school, I did a bit of graphic design at college, and kind of what I was talking about earlier on, I couldn't decide whether I wanted to stay on and do education or I wanted to work. I was quite keen to start working. I had a wee idea, I wanted a wee car and I wanted a flat, and that to me was really, really important. So I started an apprenticeship in a print industry, learning about printing processes and materials, and that led on to a 10-year career in the print industry. So yeah, it was a fantastic opportunity, a great introduction to a company, which I think again is a big benefit of apprenticeships. It's a great way of entering a career without having to have all the qualifications, all the experience in the first hand.